One love, jobless, Far Nelson here, and today I'm here to talk to you about how life doesn't necessarily get better, but we do. So, in our journey, when we're doing our spiritual practices, especially in the beginning, we think that our life is supposed to completely change around us and everything, once we start becoming aware, is supposed to be perfect and we're not supposed to have any troubles come in our life or anything that may cause suffering to come into our life anymore. But we realize along our journey that this is not what the practices are about. In the Bible, it says, many are the sufferings and many are the tests of the righteous. I don't know the exact quote, but it's along those lines. I'm pretty sure it's Isaiah, something Isaiah. But many, are the tribulations, the trials of the righteous. So just because we are living in a way of more awareness, in a way of more alignment with the Christ consciousness, with a way of peace and serenity and unity, just because we're living from this divine place doesn't mean that there's not going to be situations in our life that are going to try to shake us up. I had this meditation the other day, and it was an eye of a snake came into the meditation, and the Most High said, the eye of the snake is going to test you. And that kind of relates to how my week has been, actually, where I have a loved one going through a situation and I'm helping heal them through this process, mentally, physically, and spiritually, because it's truly, poison when there is any type of unrest of the body, when we have any type of ailment of the body, whether it's physically or mentally. There's something spiritually being poisoned into you. There's a snake that is in your presence that you need to eradicate, whether it's by releasing fear, releasing anxiety, releasing tension, releasing expectations of perfectionism and stuff like this. This causes poison to become prevalent in our body, just as if we were bit by a snake. And what I noticed along my journey is now I'm able to handle this situation better than I was in my past. It's not that this situation just doesn't come up. It's not that our family members aren't going to fall ill here and there at times. It's not that our loved ones aren't going to need our help mentally, physically, and spiritually sometimes. Just because we're on a spiritual path and we're doing what we need to do doesn't mean that everything around us magically becomes perfect. But you're able to see perfection in all things. Now I want you to truly get that. It's not that everything around us becomes perfect, but you're able to see the perfection in all things. You're able to trust that the divine source is guiding this process, putting this situation in front of you so that you can test and also help others. Not test your others, but test yourself to make sure that you truly are in a place where you are ready to help others, where you are able to see what you have learned and actually put forth the lessons that you have been downloading for all these, hours and days and weeks and months and years. If we're not tested in our life, if there's no snakes that come into our life, if there's no temptation of, anger and greed and lust and all these different things, then how will we know if we really have changed? You see, those in a chosen path, those that are awakened to the calling that they have been called to, which it's not that you're chosen like you're just so different or anything like this. It's just that you have took the necessary steps to take a path that everybody is called to, but many just choose not to go. When we're on this path, we realize that the best part about this path is that we can see our progress along the ways. But lots of times, unfortunately, we don't give ourselves a pat on our back until we actually see us handle a stressful situation in a non-stressful manner, until we actually see ourselves able to heal people with some of the holistic things that we have learned, until we're able to help people have hope when they're in a dark place about situations in their life, when we can relate to scripture, or we can just relate to them, period. Just as a human being, as a spiritual being. When we can give people affirmations at the drop of a hat and make sure they truly receive it and know how to truly give it to them with good intention behind it, with the best intention behind it. Knowing that when we pray for people, we're truly trying to help them in the greatest way. It doesn't matter if they're your friend, your family, your loved one, or your enemy. We pray for them all. When we walk on this path, everything in your life doesn't just get magically better. It will, for sure. Years, with years of doing this, years of doing your spiritual practices of meditation, praying, and reading self-help books and spiritual books and making sure that you're spiritually aligned and constantly being reminded of just, wisdom. As long as you're in this vibration where every single day you're gaining wisdom, every single day you're getting reminded of wisdom that you may have known but you needed to remember. If you're in this path of this constant reminders and constant walking in a way of righteousness, in a way of holiness, in a way of Christ consciousness, then good things will happen to you. You plant good seeds and amazing fruit trees are going to come and bear fruit for seasons and seasons to come. And then those fruits are going to drop down seeds, and you're not even going to have to hardly even water it, because you're going to have so much overflowing of abundance that once you break the threshold, life will just overflow. But we have to be patient. We have to realize that we don't need to use this time to give up on people that may not be seeming to align with our destiny. If they're hurting you mentally, physically, and spiritually, of course, they shouldn't be in our lives, especially if it's with intention. They're doing it out of, malicious manner. But if somebody is unconsciously just stuck in the Maya, in the illusion of Babylon, stuck in their ways and their habits, it's not on us to just give up on them. It's not on us to just give up on the people around us when we have been doing these things for this reason, for this opportunity. When trials and tribulations come into our life, when we are doing the spiritual practices, especially when you're keeping your body and your temple clean with good foods, healing foods, and you're doing yoga and you're doing some type of exercise or something every day. Sometimes yoga is just good enough for people, but if you need exercise, you know it if you need it. But if you're doing this, keeping your body clean and keeping your body healing in a healthy manner, then you will be able to not worry about so much about little ailments that you may have, because you can feel them healing. You can feel that they are shifting. It's more about the outside. It's more about what can I do to help this person, because this person is just stuck and they feel like they can't get out. This is why we do these things. When we have situations in our life, we can handle them differently. we can actually have wisdom to help people. And we can actually have wisdom so when situations come in our life that may seem stressful, we handle them in a better way. You know, I got a envelope and it had a check in it. And that same day I had some food, and I came out the car, went into the house, put the food in the refrigerator, you know, went, laid down for a bit, took a shower, did my spiritual practices and my meditation and my yoga and some prayers. And then I was going to leave to go do something, and I realized I could not find that check. I couldn't find it. For the life of me, I couldn't find it. Money just gone. And usually, almost anybody would flip out, you know, be frantic, flipping couches and all different types of things. You know, I checked the car, I checked the house again, then I checked the car again and checked the house one more time. And I just put it up as it's gone, you know. After that, I was just, you know, it's gone. It must be gone. So, having those emotions and having that realization and not flipping out that, oh, you know, a whole check of money is gone. It shows you no matter what it is. Because in my head, I already have rearranged it that, okay, I'm just going to text a person no matter what time it is. I know it's late, you know, it was 8 o'clock. I'm going to text a person and just tell them, hey, void the check and we can figure it out another day. You know? So, of course, like my instinct was, instead of freaking out, though, to relax. To, you know, everything is okay. Just go about your night, what you're about to do. You know, luckily my girl was able to cover the things that we needed to buy. And then we came home. And, you know, I didn't stress out about it. I just let the money be lost. It could have been, you know, I had figured, oh, I must have dropped it, you know, walking to the house, to the apartment. I must have dropped it. So somebody may have picked it up, or, you know, hopefully they aren't able to hack around it and switch the names and all this. But I wasn't thinking about all that, you know. Of course, I had it in the back of my head, but I wasn't thinking about it. It wasn't like I'm just sitting here thinking about it. I just knew that was a possibility. And then, so yeah, I went about my night. And I didn't let it get me down. I didn't. I let the Most High test me. I said, this is a test, huh? You want me to act out and go crazy and be all mad and frustrated. And I wasn't. I was able to keep my peace, keep my serenity, keep my calm. And that's what these spiritual practices are about for us. It's not truly about us having so much hectic situations in our life anymore, because hopefully we aren't. But it's about those little hectic situations and seeing how you have been truly able to use the tools that you have found, to use your breathing techniques, to use your mindfulness and staying in the present instead of just worrying about the past and the future. This is what meditation does for us. It helps us stay in the present. If you're thinking about your past, especially if you're worrying about something, you can easily switch to something in the present and you'll forget all about it. And the same thing for the future. Thoughts are flowing water. They don't need to stay forever. They don't need to sit on your mind all day, all night. They can come and go, maybe just go for the rest of the day. Then you think about it in a day or two. When we let ourselves be calm, situations like losing a check or losing money or not being able to pay for something or not being able to make it to something or whatever the situation is, even if you feel like you're sick or something, you're able to stay calm in the situations and able to realize that the Most High is behind this process. The Most High is guiding me somewhere. The Most High is testing me in some type of way for me to become something better. And at the end of that night, when I lost my check, I went to go heat up my leftover food, and guess what was right on top of that food? My check. Yeah, my check. So through that whole time in that process, me staying calm, me staying focused, me not flipping out, and maybe causing arguments and saying negative things to myself and to others, me not doing that made the rest of the night good, made the rest of the night already not more stressful than it needed to be. Because when we let situations affect us, then other people feel it, and we cause stressful situations for others maybe to be more stressful. But now with our awareness and our spiritual practices and our mindfulness and our patience that we have been building and our faith that we've been building, we are able to let these situations come and go and see the blessings on the other side. Now, what is better, honestly, than seeing the work that you're doing and then getting the check at the end of the night? That was the best confirmation I think I've ever had. I mean, I've had a lot of, wild little miracles, and I've had some big miracles too, but for the recently, that was quite just a true blessing, a true miracle, because like I said, in the moment I knew almost I was being tested. I knew that everything was going to work out perfectly, and even if it didn't, then it was for a reason. I don't know how or why, but, well, I know why, and I know how. It was my faith in the Most High and my efforts and my spiritual practices, my meditation, When we have that connection, nothing can be bothered. When we truly keep that awareness that the Most High is always guiding us, always with us, always putting us to test and making sure that we are faithful and staying righteous and keeping us on our toes, we have a bliss about us. When people say to fear God, it's not a fear of, running away. It's just to keep you on your toes. It's to know that if you do a sin, there's karma that comes with it. If you do good, there's good karma that comes with it. It's not so complicated as, fear that you may think about in the movies. No, we're supposed to fear getting angry and wrathful. We're supposed to fear cursing and saying God's name in vain, and we're supposed to fear thinking of in lack and in greed, and we're supposed to have faith, undenying faith, unconditional love for the Most High. When you have something given to you and you lose it, what is a better feeling than finding it again? Just like with my check, that's how I feel finding the Most High. It's like when we are born, and sometimes even when we are kids, for a lot of us, we have that connection with the divine. We have that connection that anything is possible in this world, When we are kids, we think that we can become astronauts and build a sky tower and all types of things. I don't know what you call it. But when we're kids, and of course even as adults we can still do these things, but when we're kids we just think, the most we think that, Pokemon is real and just wild things. And these things are also possible when you believe enough, but we have lost touch with that. We have lost base with that. So it's like finding something again when you are able to find your connection with that divine source, finding that faith again, finding that magic in life again. But it only comes with faith and making sure you're keeping that connection with the divine. You're keeping that connection by doing your spiritual practices and reading your scriptures as well. It's not just about the meditation and the prayers and the yogas and whatever else you want to add into your spiritual practices. It's about actually reading not only the self-help books and the spiritual books, but the actual scripture books as well. Get the information for yourself, Not everything is going to sync up with you completely when you start reading these scriptures, but as you get more in touch with the scriptures, and you get more in touch with these holy books, and you get more, familiar with them, you'll be able to pick up what is false doctrine and what is spiritual truth. You have a spiritual truth in you. You have a spiritual freedom in you. Your life, it keeps on getting better and better. Just because the outside may be kind of hectic right now does not mean that your life isn't getting better. It's just testing you. Keep on staying strong. If you're going through a lot right now, pray even harder. Meditate even longer. There's something that's trying to be guided to you. The Most High is trying to push you to a certain realization and trying to help you get to this place, because at the end of it, you're going to be stronger, better, more healed, more happy. Everything in this life is happening for a reason, but we have to come to the awareness. We have to realize it. In the Quran, it says everybody is able to become one with the divine. But it's when the divine wants that situation to come, that's when they will awake. And lots of times I feel like the divine calls for us to wake up, putting situations in our life, and we're over here saying, oh no, we're not going to do that. Oh no, maybe next year. Oh, maybe next month. No. And we're just ignoring it. Luckily the divine is so merciful, so forgiving. But when the Most High calls, you should answer. When you have a lot of people, or even if it's just one person in your life who keeps on saying, hey, maybe you should do this, maybe you should meditate, maybe you should pray, maybe, you should watch these inspirational videos, or you just keep on seeing inspirational videos come up on your timeline. You keep on finding yourself stopping on this inspirational video. You keep on finding yourself watching inspirational stuff, motivational things, The Most High is calling you. It's time for you to live a life of righteousness and leave the ways of Babylon and society behind. Just because you're not doing everything that you want to do right now doesn't mean that a life of discipline is a life of, boring sorrow and nothing, and you just stay inside and read the Bible all day. That's not what I do. My life is full of fun. My life is full of enjoyment. But my life is also full of righteousness. And everybody that I come in contact with knows this, It's a thing I'm not shaking on. I'm not out here preaching to people. I'm not out here trying to even change people, but I'm out here being the best example that I can be. Not cursing, not doing sinful acts at all, making sure that I am matching the way that I feel on the inside, which is peace and serenity. When we align ourselves with ourselves from the inside and out, let ourselves love ourselves from the inside and out, that's when we truly are able to have even more faith that the divine is truly guiding us. Any situation that comes up, you know how to handle it. You know how to make sure that you stay in your patience, in your serenity, in your bubble of peace, because you love yourself. You love yourself so much that you do your meditation every single day. You do your prayers every single day. You love yourself so much that you focus on others. You love yourself so much that you are thy servant's servant, because you realize that you are good, that you are blessed, that you are so blessed that you can be a blessing to others. And this is the point. This is the place that we should all aspire to get to that amount of love within ourselves, that we're just overflowing so much that we're able to give it out to others. We have learned to heal ourselves so much that we can heal others. We're all in this together. We're all trying to get to the same place, the same awareness that we are all one with the divine. We're all trying to get to this place. It's just that some of us are confused and lost in the system, lost in the sauce about what life truly means. So it's our jobs as people who have spiritually awakened to help these people wake up, to help these people realize that there is a path to freedom without having to live in the woods or having to be secluded on a mountain. If your path calls to that, then that's awesome. I would love to do that for a month or something like that. But it's not for everybody. We don't have to go this path. We don't have to seclude ourselves to become someone who is at peace at all times. I'm telling you, because I am living this. I used to live in the way of sin. I used to live in the way of corruption. I used to be that person. And I used to feel how I used to feel, which was not even as close to how I feel now. Seeing beauty in all things, in all life, being able to handle situations that, I used to flip out about or be so frustrated and in my head about and be talking so mean about, and I just let it flow. Man, it's a blessing. It's a blessing being here. It's a blessing every single day. I wake up every single day and say, thank you for another day. And when I pray, I say thank you for this incarnation. Thank you for this blessing of being here and breathing and truly seeing and truly hearing finally after so many years of just not seeing and hearing. We have to realize that life is so precious and there's no point in wasting it being angry or with grudges or with greed and all these different things. We should only be focusing on strengthening our connection with the divine source and making sure that we are able to truly heal and love ourselves mentally, physically, and spiritually, doing the wisdom building that it takes to do this, and then also using that wisdom to heal and help others. This should be the point of all this, or else truly what is it, It's not for us to just selfishly heal ourselves. We want naturally, when we come to this awareness, to help everyone. But we have to come to the terms and come to the understanding and understanding that you're getting better. Your life around you may not get better, but all we can do is try. Not force, not push, but just try. Little drips and bits of information and wisdom and help when we can, because if we try to do everything at once, if we try to throw the whole book at people, they get discouraged. It sounds too hard to them. It sounds too crazy to them. But when we have done the work and when we have the knowledge, we have the wisdom and we have the faith, we know that all things are possible. So don't give up on the people that you love. Don't give up on your environment and growing the environment around you to the vision that you want to see. Situations around your life may take longer to change, because just because you change the inside of you, it still takes, a few months, maybe a few years for everything else to truly follow. But have faith and know that everything will follow. If you're truly being an example, if you're truly being that light at the top of the hill, if you're truly being someone who is living from their spiritually divine place, from their divine path, if you're being the person that you're supposed to be, then the Most High is going to bless you with all things that are righteous, all seeds that are bared, all seed-bearing fruit will be granted to you. Any dream that you put into the soil will bear fruit. We just have to stay patient, stay righteous, stay holy, and don't get caught up in the ways that life, in the ways of this illusion, this Babylon system. All we can do is focus on growing mentally, physically, and spiritually every single day, and trying our best to help the people around us, whether it's our friends, family, loved ones, or enemies, even our dogs and our cats and animals of any kind. I saved a dragonfly the other day. It's a beautiful dragonfly, like this big. It's crazy. It looked like a whole different creature from a different planet. But we're all in this together. We all want to be our best versions of ourselves, but lots of people don't know, and lots of people give up too soon before their environment and their full life can change and become a blessing, just like their inside has become. Don't turn your back on the Most High. Don't get into a stressful situation and completely change who you are and switch up back to the old you. Hold that faith. I don't care what it is. There's a way to cure anything, a way to heal anything, mentally, physically, or spiritually. We have to hold that faith, hold that wisdom, hold that knowledge that everything is working out. Everything is working out as we speak. Not will work out, everything is working out as we speak. You think next time I'm gonna get a check, I'm not gonna instantly deposit it? I'm gonna instantly deposit a check next time I get it. I'm not gonna just let it sit. You know, there's wisdom in all things. There's a lesson in every situation. It's just sometimes we need to learn it a little bit harder of a way. But the Most High is always with us, always guiding us, always making sure that we are protected and loved. But you have to use that awareness. You have to come to that choice that you're no longer going to believe in lack, no longer going to believe that you're not worthy, that you're not enough. It doesn't matter who you are, what you look like, what size you are, how tall or short, nothing. You are here for a reason. You are worthy. You are wealthy. You are abundantly loved. Everything is coming to you perfectly as it's supposed to come to you. But you have to be accepting of it. You have to have that patience and awareness. And you have to stay in that righteous mindset, that holy mindset. Not a righteous mindset that you're righteous to yourself. No, righteous of the law of the Most High. Respecting thy neighbor. Not worshiping other idols. You know, these American idols. Not lusting after other people's things and other people's spouses and just keeping ourselves clean mentally, physically, and spiritually at all times, you know, pretty much. We just want to keep ourselves clean mentally, physically, and spiritually. Free from sin, free from mischief and destruction and corruption. And trust me, your life will be abundantly blessed tenfold. So if you haven't, please subscribe, like, comment, share. And I appreciate everybody that's been watching and who's already subscribed and keeps on tuning back in. I wish you luck on your journey. And I know that if you're watching this and you've watched this all the way to the end, then you already know what you should do. And you're probably already doing it. And I commend you for that, applaud you for that. I'm proud of you for that. Because we need more people that are doing the steps and the spiritual practices to awaken themselves. Because you doing that is setting an example for another person, and that sets an example for 2 more people and 5 more people and 20 more people, and the list just goes on. So keep on being you, keep on growing mentally, physically, and spiritually, and one love.